Hello YouTube, welcome back to the B&J Racing channel. My name is Dale. This installment will cover our adventure at Beach Bend Motorsports Park in Bowling Green on 10/11/25, where we made two passes with the Avenger. One was a test pass to somewhat start dialing in the new wheelie bars that we had installed on the car the week prior. Had no testing on them. The previous ones were bent and the car was not responding to changes. So new ones put on, set per the book. Need to make the first pass, which was going to be a 60 or 330 hit, whatever it worked out to be, to determine which direction we need to adjust the bars. Made the first hit. Car went right for a change, which is good. That means the bars are working now. And it went right about a tire width in the groove, stayed in the groove. It would have been an A to B pass, but we had already agreed to just make it a launch hit and did that. Everything worked out good. Came back, made a change, a slight change. Since that would have been an A to B pass, it would have been a good pass for qualifying. Did make one slight correction. Don't want to make a big one. So we go back for Q1. This video will be about Q1. So it didn't go well. Most of you have already seen the other video where the car gets out of shape, oscillates back and forth, gets on his lid, slid for I think 1,015 feet on its lid. It was not good. Mike was unhurt. He did transport to the hospital out of an abundance of caution, and all tests came back fine, and he was back at the track that evening. So, what have I done over the past week? It's been a busy one. First off, Data Link 2 software from RacePack. Feature that I had never used, never really seen used, is the ability to import a video and sync it with the data on the graphs. This proved to be very instrumental in starting to do the analysis on what happened with this pass. One of the questions was, did the driver induce the oscillation that happened down track, or did the car induce the oscillation and the driver react to it? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? My initial thought was the car was just a little bit loose, which when these cars are on a good pass, they are a little bit light on the track and they do move around some. This one more so than others here lately, which more power we put to it, the worse it has gotten. That being said, my first assessment was it appeared, now this is with hand grenade diagnosis, looking at video and then looking at data and having no way to correlate them in real time, it looked like the driver induced the oscillation, the back and forth motion of the car, with a steering input, which resulted in what appeared to be pilot-induced oscillation from the aviation industry. If you do a Google search on pilot-induced oscillation, PIO, you can read about that. I'm not going to go into that here. When I got the video into Data Link 2 software and got it synced up accurately, it was readily apparent that the driver did not induce the oscillation. Okay, Data Link 2 software, things I have in the software that I am looking at, I'm reading my sheet over here. I have engine RPM, clutch RPM, drive shaft RPM, lateral and acceleration Gs. I also have this data from Mark, the Glidden Thunderbird. I have this data from his pass as well, which he went down the track immediately before us. I've got 5 seconds of video and data from the recording in Data Link 2 software with the video. I have exported that in single frame increments and turned a 5-second video into a 6.5-minute video. And I've watched it dozens and dozens of times, correlating what happened when the G went left, when the G went right. An insurmountable amount of time has been spent on this. I don't like not knowing what happened. So, get my times here in front of me. And what happened on Q1? Well, the launch was pretty much uneventful. The car did go right about half a tire width, which was that responds to the or correlates to the input that I put in the wheelie bars to correct that. So it did do some correction. Again, I didn't want to make a big swing at it. So that was uneventful. The 1-2 shift was uneventful. The 2-3 shift was uneventful. In third gear, there is a bump that shows up in the drive shaft curve, whereas the car lost and gained traction. This, when looking at Mark's data, this correlates to a bump in the track that did also slightly upset his car, traction-wise. His car made no lateral moves. Our car did make a lateral move. There was another bump or two in fourth gear for us, which again correlated to shock movements in Mark's car. However, Mark's car did not have a lateral movement. Ours did. Those were at 3.4 and 3.6 seconds, respectively. After the 4 to 5 shift, there was a 9/10 of a G move laterally on the car. This is where the chicken or the egg discussion comes into play. Steering is pretty much neutral at that time. We had a 0.9 G hit laterally, and a few hundredths of a second after that, Mike starts his input on the car, as anyone would. That's a big hit from the side. The car starts its lateral movements, and it was all over at that time. The car was pretty much gone. All Mike was doing was reacting and trying to stay alive. So, what does this tell me? First off, I am not blaming the track. Everybody wants to blame the track. Everybody says the track's crap. Everywhere you go, the track is crap. Nobody ever talks about how good the track is. We had a 106 60-foot time. Mark had a 108. Mark went down the track, as did a number of 7.0 cars, 7.0 quarter-mile cars. They were having no trouble getting down the track. The bumps in the track, which I have drone footage, I made 6 minutes of drone footage up and down the track from various angles and heights, looking at the skid marks, looking at the imperfections in the track. I walked the track 4 times. I have video of one of the walks that I did, and you can actually see the imperfections in that, and I'll play a little clip here of us walking down the track, and you can hear how sticky the track is. This is between the 8th and quarter mile. So it was not the track surface.
Let me walk up to you.
I'm not going to blame the track surface. The track did kind of set this in motion because of some asymmetry on the track, or imperfections on the track, but our car behaving in an asymmetrical manner is what caused the upset of the car and the sequence of events that happened. So, what are we looking at? Looking at things that could have caused the asymmetry in the reaction of the car to the track surface. We've had hands on all of the bars. Still going to go over the chassis again to look for cracked welds. I don't think we have any. Haven't been able to find anything like that yet. The 2 things that stand out for me that could possibly cause an asymmetric reaction are tires and shocks. We could have a failed valving on one of the shocks or struts. So all rubber is getting replaced on the car before the next time down the track. The shocks and struts will be removed after we get it back from the chassis shop, and they will be sent to Adam Dryich and let him dyno them, and we were wanting to do some revalving anyway, so this is a perfect opportunity to see if we have a problem with those shocks or we need to look elsewhere. So what's going to happen first? The car, I'll do a follow-up video on this next week after we get some results back from the chassis shop, but we've started the field dressing of the car, and it will go in the chassis shop at QBR Motorsports probably Monday or Tuesday of this week. And when that happens, we'll get an idea of what it's going to take to fix the car. Pretty much know already, but need to get it on the chassis table and see if the chassis is tweaked in any way. Corner weights look good. It looks like a few bars got scraped and they will need to be replaced. But overall, the car is in pretty good shape. So that's about it. Let me look at my notes here and make sure I haven't left anything out. That seems to be it. Again, something happened on the car that caused an asymmetrical reaction to the track surface, and that ended up in an oscillation left to right, and which no amount of steering was going to gather that back. It was plus and minus 1.4 G's left and right on average. There were some higher than that, but it was not good. Sure, in hindsight, could things be done differently and maybe make the outcome better? Always. We could have omitted that pass. We could have not gone to the track that weekend. Could have turned the car down more. You can guess it all day long. What happened is what happened. We figure out why it happened, and we learn from it and move forward. And that's pretty much where we're at, folks. Next week, I will post a video of the field dressing of the car, all the parts that are damaged, and hopefully with some results from the chassis table session, and figure out what we're going to do. Again, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hanging in here with us. Hope to have some solid answers coming soon, and appreciate all the comments from you fellers and ladies. Until the next one, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Hope to see you at the track in 2026 with this car. And again, thank you for watching. My name is Dale. This is the B&J Racing Channel. See ya.